Cody Schneider, co-founder and CEO of Graft. He is continually doing so many things with AI agents, go to market, etc. He is famous for saying that distribution is even more important than the product itself. He is cracked. We must bring him inside of the show. Everybody, welcome the one and only Cody Schneider of Graft. Get in here, Cody. Get inside this show.
He's got the Steve Jobs on.
Let's go. How you doing?
Let's go.
We're doing even better now that you are here, Cody. And I have to say, you're looking very Jobs-esque, very Steve Jobs.
This is my rock look, you know? I just only do it when I do public. It's like everybody always in the comments just blows it up. It's like, anyway, it's really just engagement bait, but it always works. It's hilarious.
You do a very rock. That's true. Very Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, there's that meme of him, and it just like always rips, which is hilarious. So, anyways,
Cody,
what were you guys talking about before? Is it people buying pallets from Walmart and then flipping them on eCommerce?
Yeah,
dude, I have a founder friend who's doing this. They just like raise money for this in Seattle, but their whole setup, it's really interesting. They do it regionally. So they buy from like a store and then they go, I can't remember the company name right now. Otherwise I would share it. But they basically you have to drive up and pick it up physically. And it's turned into you drive your car in, they literally whatever it is, a pressure washer, they load it in the back of the car and then you drive away. Absolutely crushing it. I didn't realize this is such a huge problem for them, both for the companies, just trying to offload this inventory. But anyways, super random, tangential thing that's related.
There's opportunity everywhere.
Absolutely, man.
The interwebs.
So many different ways to make money.
So many different ways to make money. Now, Cody, I have heard in all of your agent building, agent mobilizing, man, I have heard that there's something interesting on your side going on with agents monitoring every competitor ad library and such, Facebook and more. Is this the case, Cody?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're seeing this more and more. You guys are in D2C. You know how this functions, right? It's if you look at Rise Superfoods as an example right now, I think they have 2,500 plus ads that are live currently across the platforms. And they're just at scale deploying. It's in the range of, 100 plus daily. This is becoming really important. So when you think about inventory that's available on an ad platform, right? Something we spend a lot of time on okay, what is my total addressable market? I work in the B2B space, so it's a little bit different, right? But we're what is my total addressable market? How do I get in front of them, across all of the places that I'm trying to market? And then I need to think about basically how is everybody else in the market positioning themselves? And then where is it red ocean? So every company that's a beef tallow company is saying these exact, three same things within their ads. Okay, well, there's actually these 7 other benefits that we can talk about that nobody is talking about once we actually pull all of the creative. So if we go and we just make creative for those topics that people aren't competing in, what we'll see is that ROAS will increase. It'll become cheaper on a CPA, et cetera. And it's largely just mapping, right? Again, how is the market communicating themselves? So first, just take a step back. How do you do this? It's okay, what are the pain points and the outcomes of the person that I'm trying to sell to? What are the pain points they have? What are the outcomes that they want? And then once I've identified that, we how we do this is we build a matrix, right? Of here are all these emotional triggers. Here's these situations that they could be in. So as an example, one that we did recently was I took this restaurant over from my dad and I'm afraid I'm going to run it into the ground. That's an emotional trigger, right?
Okay.
The situation that they could be in is oh, it's the Friday night rush. It is the, it's the weekend and it's off. I know the phone is ringing. I hear it ringing. I don't want to answer it because I'm shutting down, et cetera. And I can make ads across all those different variations of the matrix. So imagine I have 5 different emotional triggers and I have 10 different situations. From that, I can create, 15 different concepts of ideas. Once you've created that, when you go and you pull the ad creative that all of your competitors are running, what you'll find is that if you put that to the matrix, you'll find that certain parts of the matrix are lit up. Only these, only these cells within the top left corner. Everybody's talking about the product in the exact same way, but there's really 10 different ways that I could talk about this and nobody is. And so if I go make ad creative talking to those pain points, I'm actually going to be able to outperform, who I'm competing against because I'm differentiating the messaging to the same, exact customer, but talking about it in a different way. So anyways, I think that's something we're really excited about and we're seeing really great results with. So just to pass that on. Also just the scale that you have to do this at now. I mean, we're at this like the point where it's like every day, we are publishing, for example, for one company, it's like 20 or it's 5 new ad sets, 5 new ads within those ad sets every day. The ads compete against each other over like a 2 to 3 day window. Losers automatically get turned off. So the winners get left within that ad set. And then the winning ad sets go into a winner's pool. And then the winner's pool is competing against each other for like the ad budget that's available, right? So it's almost a different game than like historically, like I would like find an ad and I would try to go and scale that. Like I would, how much, like what is the ceiling that I'm going to? Now with Andromeda, again, I'm in the B2B space, so it's a little bit different. The game that we're playing is like, how much ad creative can I just give the model? Because it's almost like, I had somebody else describe this where it's like, it's this one-to-one ad algorithm, right? Where it's like, it's just going to go find this random person that it can serve this ad to. Yeah. And maybe like, that one person is going to cost $30 to get that lead from. It's not going to find anybody else, right?
Yeah.
We can go, like, it's so cheap to make that creative now that we can go and just like feed basically Andromeda for this. So anyways, happy to answer any questions about that or like how we're actually doing that or like technically, et cetera.
I find that fascinating. I'd love to know like when you start talking spreadsheets, I mean, Cody, my eyes just like my face gets tired. When my face gets tired.
Chris hates spreadsheets. I understand. Yeah. I mean, all of this is just like, it's just code under the hood, right? Like, but for example, if you're pulling your ad libraries, like you can use Appify, you're just like monitoring the ad libraries of your competitors and then have it where it's like a daily cron job that's like, okay, go into that Facebook ads library, pulling out the net new ad creative. It adds it into the database of like, what is the active ads? And then from that, you're basically, okay, like what are the core concepts? Like you can have a vision model watch the actual ad if it's a video and be like, what is this? Like explain to me like what's happening, like, second by second within this video. Okay, cool. Like based off of this, like now let's do that for 10 different competitors. And then from that aggregate, okay, these are the larger trends that we're seeing, right? Oh, for some reason, claymation ads are now going viral within supplements that are for, women's health. Okay, can we go and make ad creative using Seed Dance, doing that as well, right, et cetera. But yeah, and then, I mean, this isn't like a person doing this, right? Like now this is just software. Like what the fuck is an agent, to be
what is it? I mean, it's software, right?
It's just software under the hood. It's a software with a thinking loop and some type of data like feedback, right? And like that's all it is. It's like cool. Like it's an app. When you think about a media buyer, like what are they doing, right? They have like an algorithm that's in their head of like, okay, I'm publishing new creative. I'm looking at what's working. I'm like I'm removing the losers and I'm doubling down on the winners. Yeah. That can be like turned into code now. Like, but what do you need to accomplish that? You have to have a data stream and you basically have to have like an agent that can like think on top of that data and then the ability to make new ad creative. If you've solved all of that, you can just have this engine that's like running media buying now. And this is like where this is all headed, right? And so anyway, I think with all that said, though, that to take a step back, like the real opportunity, I think, is that you can now identify like what are all the ways that I could talk about this? What are all the ways my competitors are talking about this? What are the ways that they aren't, that I should be? Let me go play in that blue ocean space. And like this is just like you with hypothetically Claude code, figuring this out. It's totally possible. So
that's juicy.
I think this is so important because I think a lot of people are the smaller players within our space, not realizing that they're going against behemoths. We talked about IM8, getting $1 billion of cap that they can basically deploy against ads. And so if you're running the same exact thesis for ads as IM8 and you're trying to compete with them, and you're like, that doesn't even work at all.
Because right?
They're going to win. They're going to win 9 to 10 times out of 10. You don't have the capital to keep up with them. But if you zig when they zag and you're talking about completely other things, that's a way to compete with them. Not capital to capital. It is just angle to angle. I love this. I love this concept so much.
All this information is out there too. I think the challenge is like historically to go and collect all this would be, I mean, you'd literally pay.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Ad agents. Yeah, it'd be insane, right? Like you guys both know what this actually takes to do. In contrast, now it's like I can just have an agent go for like 12 hours straight, just read Reddit, aggregate all the information for all the different situations that people are in. Both good and bad, like, right?
Both good and bad.
But then from that, I can then basically, again, map out this persona. And like, this is how I think about Andromeda more and more is like, I am trying to map out this emotional trigger plus a situation that they're in. And that situation is like, I'm using language that that resonates with them. Right.
Totally.
And from that, I can like, really clearly see like there's only so many ways that I can talk about beef tallow. Right. But like maybe, people are spending less time talking about it as like an eczema solution or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then you should spend your time there, in contrast to like, oh, here's this like, it's replacing what people do with like Vaseline for slugging, right? Or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. But the scale, the volume of the creative that you can produce, this is where this is all going, is like, and I mean, we're spending so much time trying to figure this out of like, how can I employ Seed Dance to like at scale make creative that feels cinematic, that feels like, these Pixar ads rip across the board, like for any industry, any category, et cetera. And I don't think we're there yet, like, but we're close, and we're probably like 6 weeks away to where it's like, you're just going to like plug into this ad machine and it just starts creating ad creative. Right. And like, you can have that automatically upload to Facebook. Now the problem becomes understanding, like, if I'm publishing 10,000 ads a month, what the fuck is working? Like, that's going to be the hardest part of this, right? So anyway.
Well, Cody, it seems to me, I'd love your take on this. I mean, it seems to me like Zuck wants to build this inherently inside of Meta. It's like, we can make your ads, we can run your ads. You just tell us a CPA and who you want, and like, we'll go make it happen. I genuinely like don't really trust them to do that. I just don't.
Buyer does, right? Because like, how many times have you gotten on a call with like a Google Ads specialist and they're just like, you should increase budget, and it's like, that's not what I'm here to do, right?
Thanks for the advice. Really appreciate the advice.
Totally. And like, also like, when you think about like what they're probably training off is it's to the average, right? And like, what we're advocating for here, what we're actually talking about is like, I don't want the average. I don't want like what all my competitors are doing. I'm trying to look for like, what are the outliers, because that's the better place to allocate the limited resources I have: time, money, mental energy. Right. And so I think, for the app, I was at a dinner in San Francisco recently, and this guy was saying like, when they initially built like the self-service, like Facebook ads platform, a lot of it was just like, we're just trying to get the like very normie, like the boost to post,
boost to post,
the very normie SMB owner. Like, there was just so much money that they could like basically accumulate from that. And they have no idea what is the actual outcome. What does this actually do? But shit, like 10,000 people in my geography saw it. That's awesome.
Yep.
But I think that like for the average person probably solves it. You're an HVAC company, so you're like, I hate my agency. Like, I despise them, like all they, they just lie to me, full stop. Right. Like, they're not actually like giving me the real information. They're not delivering. You're telling me that I can just plug into Facebook and I'm like, cool, here's this form that I want people to complete. Go find me people that like, get me leads for my tree trimming business. Right. And it like makes AI creative that solves that. I think that for, again, the SMB makes a lot of sense. But now it's like, you want to compete in the top 1% or, top 10%. The only way to create, and this is with all AI, like generate, AI is just a tool that is like utilized by the person that, or the strategy that's behind it, right? Like, if I say, go write me a blog post about X, right? Like, it's going to write to the average of the bell curve. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be super mid. In contrast, if I'm like, hey, here's 10 podcasts from experts talking about this specific topic, right? For example, like hotel marketing in 2026, go write me a piece of content based off of the source material that I provided you. The outcome that you're going to get from that is going to be, top 1%, because I created this walled garden that it has to think in. I gave it source material for. It's the same idea here, right? Like what is a good ad for like me to be able to like be publishing, or me to publish to this channel? I have to basically like context orient it. Like, this is the scope. Like, this, I'm pointing you in the direction of what actually. Now I can give it leeway within that, right? Where it's like, okay, we're going to go generate 100 different like, static variations based off of these different persona like maps that we're going after, and these, these pain points, these outcomes that they want. But it's still very specific to like, this is what I know. Like, I'm still giving it the direction. This is what north looks like. You can go northwest, you can go northeast. I don't care, but you have to go north in some capacity. So.
Cody, go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Cody, I would love to shift gears into what you've been talking about with TikTok Reel Farms, because I am so insanely fascinated by this. I will say selfishly, I have tried to crack this. I was unable to crack it for me personally. I think there's something there. I would love for your take on this because I think it's
yeah. I'm happy, and I'm not an expert on this. There's way better people than like I have friends that this is all they do, and like they're incredible, right? But so what a TikTok Reel Farmer is basically like, imagine literally an Android phone that is in a warehouse in Brooklyn that has like an eSIM that's separated, and they're getting a local like IP address, and they like have like they're like doom scrolling on this phone to make it look like it's a real person, right?
Yeah.
So a company like our partner that we use, we love them, Double Speed AI. They're great.
You use them?
Yeah, we use Double Speed. They're awesome. We've been super satisfied with the results and the like what we've seen, and their team has been just a great partner. But what this ends up looking like is in practice, they basically like they manage this like infrastructure for you. I think it's like $100 per account per month, or don't quote me on that. We got 10 accounts, and I think it's like $1,500 is what we pay per. Basically, what the math comes out to is like if you're doing about 1,000 or $500 to $1,000, or sorry, 500 to 1,000 views per video across like 10 accounts that you have over a month, the CPM on that ends up being about $2 to $3. And
That's
the
nice.
CPM on TikTok is like, you know, in the range of $10, right? When you just like are just doing like ads to the general audience. So what this ends up looking like, that's the whole arbitrage here, is you're basically getting cheaper costs on impressions on one of these platforms. You can do this on like Instagram as well. There's like less sophisticated providers. TikTok is where like majority of people spend the time. What the media, so how this actually functions, like Double Speed has these accounts, they give you an API, and then we use the Nano Banana to make slideshows, where it's like literally like
slideshows, baby.
Exactly. So it's like super cheap. We're not doing videos for this. We've tried videos. It doesn't work as effectively. Just like slideshows always work. The tricky part is finding a format that is already working that you're then going and replicating. And so this is where you have to go and do this research. You can just brainwrite yourself, like go to TikTok and like scroll within your category. You're going to find like what's working and then pull out those winners and then turn that into a repeatable format. Or you can use a tool like one of them's Virlo. It's like VIRLO. They have an API that enables you to go like with Claude Code, and you can basically be like, hey, I'm in the beauty category. Show me all the like viral posts from the last 7 days. And it's going to like bring up, it has this huge database, like a repository, gives you that source material. So once you make these slideshow images, the actual like tactical pieces is like, you have some type of hook, like imagine day in the life of a corporate girly. And then it like is like sliding them through them.
Yeah.
What their day in New York looks like. You include the product within the slideshow, like as a natural, like, you know, part of it. And then you can also include that, you know, in the, for example, the caption of the thing, the actual like account, you just like make it look like a normal person. It's not like it's like branded whatsoever. It's just, and I guarantee you guys, like, I would not be shocked. All the internet is fake, right? Like I'm in problem with this.
You're dead internet theory.
I'm 100%. It's already done. Like it's game over.
It's
like,
over.
And I don't know if there's a way to there isn't a way to beat it. I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes into like we're just hunting for impressions, right? Like I'm just like looking for like, what is the way to get in front of my target customer as cheaply as I can to create the outcome that I'm looking for. But anyways, yeah, when you do that at scale though, like the math starts crazy, right? So it's like, okay, 10 accounts, you know, if I can get whatever 300 to 500,000 views a month from those, like if I scaled that up to 100 accounts, if I scaled it up to 1,000, what does that look like? And when you see, like, if you see like a musical artist like come out of nowhere, and why are they all over social? This is how this is happening.
Yeah.
If you see like a brand come out of nowhere and it's like all over social, this is how it's happening. If you see, you know, kind of universally, this is like the tactic. This is how discovery happens for new products. So it's a great way to do like brands, like build like brand notoriety or authority, and just like also like brand. Just like, do they have brand recognition, et cetera, of like, you know, what you're trying to build. It's not very tactical. Like it's not very bottom of funnel. Like again, on B2B, we don't see crazy results from it, but it's like, we use it as like again, we're trying to build brand within this category for a specific customer that we're selling to, et cetera. This is just like another way to show up in front of them. For Ecomm, you can get this to work though, where it's like, cool, here's literally the supplements that I take on slide 3. It's next time. You know, when I drink my matcha, I also take this, right? And like that is like a part of like that sales process. And again, it's just very hard to track attribute. Like this is like why we don't do it. A lot of it, or like why we see people not wanting to do it. hard to track on an attribution side. You have to think about it in the aggregate. People are always hunting for like outliers. Like that's not the game that you're playing here. You're playing more of like, I'm getting, if the average views again can be 1,000 per video, like or 1,000 per slideshow, awesome. Like we've accomplished again, like hitting the CPM number that we're trying to come to from a price standpoint. So
in D2C and eComm, like people are spending gobs of money per month. Gobs of money. Like, what is like $1,500 for a $2 to $3 CPM? It's like crazy.
And Chris, we had Ryan Beltran, CEO of Original Grain, on the show, and he said specifically yesterday, he said impressions matter. Impressions matter. I cannot quantify it to my brand. It's not something I can like tie back into a conversion and blah, blah, blah. He's running a multi-million-dollar watch brand, and he is saying impressions matter. At the end of the day, impressions matter for my brand. Huge.
I think it's just, I mean, you can see it too, right? Like you can see it in the branded search. That's the only like, trailing indicator where it's like, you can go to Google Search Console and you can be like, our branded search is up month over month. Like, what does this look like?
Great point.
Or we had a viral video. This happens all the time. Where it's like, we have a banger day and like, do we see impressions go up? Like branded search impressions increase and branded clicks increase. Absolutely. Always like, you can absolutely quantify it. Tying that all together though, like what is my ROAS? What is my number? There's no way like you're going to actually do that. People are trying to solve this. I've been in this game for like 10 years. Everybody has told me they're going to solve this over my entire career. It's never been solved. It's not going to be solved anyways.
For that like banger video that you're talking about, that quote unquote like viral run, is it the same form? Like, are you talking about like a slideshow video that pops off? And then if so, like what would you consider that to be okay, we got a viral one on our hands. Is it like 100? Like 100K impressions?
An outlier that's like 5x or 10x what the average is.
Got it.
Like, so for example, like this is a strategy, right? It's these like TikTok reel farms. Another strategy is I put creators on payroll. Like I use something like a lot of people are starting to use SideShift. I haven't used it personally. I don't know how it functions, but how I've ever done this is like I go and I scrape 20,000 creators in beauty and I cold email them and I'm like, hey, I want you to do a video per day across across Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. We'll pay you whatever, $900 a month for that.
Yeah.
And then I go and I get 20 different creators. They're all making a video per day. So I have 20 videos per day going out. And then they're basically hunting for viral formats. As soon as I see a viral format, then I roll that out to all the creators that are within my like cohort, right?
Yeah.
So it's like but that same idea, like this is how this can work together. Is like, cool. I found a viral format. I now take that and I apply that to the TikTok reel farms, and maybe they don't perform as well as the actual like original. Like, but even if it's only whatever, if it's 10% of 100, say your average views per slideshow is 1,000. And that video did 1 million and you only get, 10,000 on the TikTok reel farm in comparison to the 1 million that it did. It's still like, that's still an outlier. There's still a way to double down on that. So it can work in tandem together, but it typically is like one direction, like where it's like, I have the creator identify that human identifies the format. And then I'm rolling that out to like this reel farm. This is in contrast to like, that's creator marketing, right? This is totally in contrast to influencer marketing, which is its own animal, which is like this person has like, incredible reach. And also like they have trust and notoriety that's built into them.
Yeah.
And that's its own game. Right. And a lot of the time that's for brand, like you're building brands, right? Like for example, why did Meta Ray-Ban like just work with Kylie Jenner, right? It's like to elevate the brand identity.
Yeah.
That exists there. And that can, strategically fit into it, but it just depends on like what you're trying to do. Like, is this transactional or is this like more, again, like, am I going for impressions? Am I going for that brand affinity? Because we know that branded search happens. We just don't know when. Like it's the only like impressions are the way that you influence word of mouth. Right. And the example I always come back to, like I had a boss who said this to me. He's like, why do you think that like accident lawyers buy every billboard in a tier 2, tier 3 city? Like, do you think it's not working? Like, do you think that they're buying billboards because it's not working? But they're always buying billboards. So like something is obviously happening. And this is like why Frank Wright is like getting all of the leads for accident lawyers and like, whatever, Tuscaloosa. So
yeah.
Something's working.
Something's working.
Why they're doing it.
Totally.
That's so funny.
Cody, you've always got so much sauce.
Sauce. You're dropping sauce all the time.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I have never really like fully got my hands around Graft. But bro, you can deploy AI agents with Graft. Like that.
Totally.
This is like the thing. I mean, like, is this? Am I the only one who's shocked? I mean, maybe I should have known this, but like, you can do the stuff that you're saying with Graft.
So we initially started out as like data pipeline and a warehouse tool, and then like
that's what I always thought it
access.
was. Yeah,
totally. And we knew agents were coming on some horizon, and like we were going to build marketing agents and sales agents and like fit into that space. We only work with B2B right now, just like that's largely just where we have expertise and like where we're seeing the adoption of this make the most sense. Long term, we totally see this working for eComm, which is again like you're a brand that's trying to compete against like Rise, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to compete against them? Like, okay, well, you're going to have agents that are functioning as like media buyers and also like production, like media production, for ads employees, right? But anyway, yeah. So what we build is basically data pipeline, data warehouse, and then also the infrastructure to deploy the agents onto, and then also the infrastructure to deploy artifacts to. Say you wanted to make a reporting dashboard. So an example of this is like, so how we function right now is we basically forward deploy an engineer and we do this work for a company. They're like, most companies are like, I just want to buy the outcomes. I don't care how it happens. That's where we fit into this. Long term, where this all evolves to is basically like you're in Claude code and you build some type of system that's like running your Facebook ads for you automatically. And you're like, damn, I wish I could deploy this into a cloud that like has access to my live business, Facebook ads data, Google Analytics data, my like Shopify data. That's all in a single place. That's basically the infrastructure that we're building that enables you to just like one-stop shop, deploy that out. So anyway, that's the product and wow, we're helping companies right now. But
that's incredible.
We can talk about agents all day though. I know we're coming up on time, but it's crazy, man. Like we had this conversation 6 months ago, I'd have been like, agents are bullshit. And now I'm just full stop. I don't know where the only boundary we found so far, like on our side, is long form video editing. Everything else, like if a human can do it on a computer, we can almost get, we can basically get an agent to do it at this point. As an example, like we're probably launching in the range of like 10,000 to 15,000 ads a month across all the companies that we're working with, like, in the aggregate across Facebook ads. We understand what the ad is, how it's doing, how does it fit into the persona, what's actually working. And then there's like a learning loop on top of that. Like it's just, the volume is unfathomable, but sorry, go ahead, Colin.
So you would say still that the bottleneck here is running up against a very, very long form video that needs to be edited?
For sure.
Say like a 2-hour live stream show about e-commerce and one of those.
Flipping out of that. Absolutely. There are solutions that are coming and I think they're like really close. The next 6 months, I think we're going to be in a place that the challenge that you have to have. So the things that you have to solve is you have to do word by word transcription of like what's being said within it. And then you have to like the agent has to understand like frame by frame what is happening. Yeah. And it's just expensive, right? You can do this. Yeah. It's just very expensive and it doesn't make sense. It's cheaper to go and, hire a homie out of the Philippines for $1,600 a month. And they're just like heads down, basically, like pumping this out with automations within Adobe Premiere. Right. But it'll get to that place where it's like, cool, vision's got cheap enough. Like transcription is already cheap enough. It's largely just that vision piece of like understanding what's happening in the video and like being able to stitch that together. Once that's solved, it's like, this is done. Like then there's all this like, what does B-roll look like and those pieces. But I think we're working with a company right now that is like solving a lot of this motion graphic stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. Really? Like you're just like giving it random. I mean, honestly, for your audience, it's probably great. It's the company's called Style Frame AI. You give it like you give it keyframes. So for example, it's like, here's 4 like keyframes of the like I want an animation to occur. So say for example, like I think one of the ones they have on their homepage is like I'm trying to make like a watch, like a motion graphic for a watch, like that's like cinematic. It almost feels like an Apple like style, right? You could do that within their platform. Like it's ridiculous, like what is possible and what's like on the forefront. So, anyways, just another nugget for you guys. Again, if you're like trying to build that type of creative that feels incredibly like cinematic polished, right? There's tooling out there now that is actually possible to do this. It's pretty incredible. So.
Cody Schneider, man.
Wow. Thanks for having me, guys. Love being here. Yeah. Hey, everybody, watch how far you've come to. I've been like, just, in the
You've been along the ride, bro.
It's awesome, yo.
You've been along the ride, man. I think everybody needs to go to graft.com, B2B, go talk with Cody. Cody, I think of you as like Mr. GTM. I mean, to me, you're like Mr. Go to Market. And anybody who wants that and wants to get forward deployed in the AI age should go and do that, brother.
Yeah,
we
working with
appreciate
some
you
companies
making
right
time.
now that are like trying to figure out how they do their like wholesale motion. And like if that's interesting to you guys, anybody that's listening, we're trying to discover that, right? And like build basically the systems to accomplish that. Where you're like, yo, I'm trying to get into every boutique and for example, the southeastern part of the United States.
Yeah.
Like, how do we go and create a system around that? That's something that's totally possible. So reach out if that's in your wheelhouse and you're trying to accomplish
Jack, we need to clip that, and then we need to put it out for everybody in CPG, especially.
Yeah.
I love it.
Especially.
Oh my
Awesome.
gosh.
Cody, we appreciate
Thanks for
you,
having me,
brother.
guys.
Cheers, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Look forward to having you back. Wow.